Got it.
All right,
Sweet.
take it away, Joseph.
All right. So basically, we'll just start out at the top. So if you're estimating a job and you're carrying interiors to do the automatic operators, we have a cost code now. It's 5650800. If you look in your green sheets, you will see next to that code under the subcontractors, it does say Walters Wolf Interiors. This has been updated on all the green sheets. So if you're bidding, if you know, all the work that you've bid already, meaning you've already pulled green sheets, but we haven't booked, you'll probably need to move that money into that cost code before we go to book it. If not, the PM can then just do a pink change order whenever the job gets booked through. But we're going to treat them like any other subcontractor. So just as if it would have been Valley Waterproofing or anybody else, we're not going to do the journal entries anymore. And it's going to make it so much easier for us to track it and have transparency from an operational standpoint. We didn't really have a good way to see it the way that we were doing it before. And then the rest of these steps really is just for operations and how to handle change orders. But what's really critical for you guys, just make sure that the money for interiors goes into 5650800.
Joseph, isn't this double marking it up still then and adding PM and
so it is gonna do that. But the
Hey Brian, can you mute yourself?
I just muted him.
Thanks.
Yeah, so there's two different like ways that we would hire interiors, right? So the first one is we're bringing them to the table as if they were any other automatic operator sub. So if it's just us getting a price on an auto operator, then you would put it in there and it would get the full markup, just as if you would hire a Troyer or an ASAP or whoever. When we don't want to mark up interiors is when we're both submitting a proposal to like a DevCon or a customer, and they're putting them as a sub to us out of convenience. So we want to make sure that we do not mark that number up when that happens. But if we're bringing them to the table and it's not, you know, the GC going direct to interiors, we do want to mark them up.
Okay, you're just adding 35 to 40% to their numbers, so it takes away an advantage using them.
And if you want to do something a little bit lower, definitely. I mean, that's up to, you know.
Maybe do a separate estimate with just them as a sub and a low. Like I said, I think we agreed we were going to put 15% on them and no D&E and engineering and all that because it doesn't exist. Okay, I mean, because they've got some pretty big. If they're doing work for us, some of them they're doing some pretty big subcontracts.
Yeah, so from the automatic operator standpoint, the other issue is, Mike, is that you really do have the PM at least. I don't know about D&E, but from a PM standpoint, like every bulletin, everything that comes out, we're now responsible to check for all their scope of work. And, you know, so, but yeah, you definitely don't want to make yourself too competitive, but we've been seeing anywhere between like 2 to 4 auto operators on a job. But yeah, you do have those anomalies where you have 40 or 50 openings. You'd have to reconsider that.
When is SPD going to take this over?
So right now, the process is that every time a job goes to purchasing to Steve Peisel and Cesar, John Oakes goes to that initial meeting, looks at what the scope is, and if it falls within our product offerings, we're going to pick it up. And we will handle it at operations. We'll just move the money from interiors cost code to the correct cost codes for us to self-perform it.
Yeah.
But we don't do sliders and we don't do floor closers. We are exploring floor closers right now, but there's just a select few kind of bread and butter products that we're self-performing.
Joseph, if that's the case, should SPD always be going through interiors and letting John pick and choose what he likes?
No, we don't want, no. So the way that we map this out is that you guys have interiors standard pricing sheets, and we've verified that those numbers are great. We would love to do work for that price. So you just carry interiors as a number, and then when we get to operations, we'll make the call between who's going to do it. You don't want to have interiors engaged, and then they find out we're performing it. They're going to get pretty upset about that.
Gotcha. Good.
All right, that's all I had, Vince.
Okay, so just what I heard summary-wise there, make sure that you're putting Walters Wolf Interiors using cost code 5650800. Assume that Interiors is going to do the auto operator work. And because there is a bit of coordination that goes along with it, go ahead and leave the PMD&E. and leave the margin. We can discuss if we want to do a reduced margin if we think that's necessary. And then when we get the job, post-award operations will decide who's actually going to do that work.
That is correct.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, Joseph.
All right, thank you guys. See ya.
All right, and let me go ahead and stop.